What's going on, world?
What's happening?
Hashtag Team Art. Oh, shit.
What's up?
Casey Vibes.
Wow. You threw it back on that
Oh,
one.
my goodness.
You did
It's
a
been a long
throwback.
day, y'all. Your girl ain't got no sleep. Casey Vibe, back for yet another podcast.
We back again, y'all. Back again.
Yeah. So, you already know the drill. Go ahead, sit back, get everything you need while you listen to this short little musical introduction, and we'll be back.
You're going to need your do say and your Hennessy for this one, y'all.
We'll be back here shortly. Right?
That's right.
All right, let's go. Oh, and just like that, we are back.
Back like we never left.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Let's
man.
get it.
I just dropped my phone off the charger. Alrighty. So today, right,
Mm-hmm.
I figured we talk about something that, honestly, we kind of still struggle with.
And what's that?
Conflict resolution
Conflict resolution.
within a relationship.
Okay.
So, this right here stems from a little statement that I read while I was browsing the internets
Okay.
earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And hold on, take a screenshot of it. It's something that kind of makes you think, right?
Mm-hmm.
About arguments. You ready?
Let's go.
It says, it was a guy who wrote this, and he said, "My wife and I argued last night. It spilled over into today, and I spent most of it thinking about what she did wrong, until I realized what I did wrong. My anger cost me an entire day with my best friend. Life's too short to waste it like that. Hashtag marriage."
That is true.
What do you think of that?
I think that's true. I mean, because we got to look at things from um, the other person's point of view as well. But it plays on both sides, though. It ain't just one person. Both people got to look at it from both points of views. So yeah, there's always times we get into an argument or something like that where I'm not looking at it from your point of view. That's why we have to sit back and goddamn start thinking and shut up and start thinking, give each other some time to cool off, and like try to put yourself in the other person's shoes and see exactly what their standpoint from the argument was as well. But it takes both sides to do that though.
I'm looking at it like this. One of the things that really, really stood out is when they said that they wasted a whole day.
Yeah, hold
Right?
that. Yep.
I've been there
Mm-hmm.
to the point where I can go days without talking to you.
I know you can. I do.
Mainly because I'm a Taurus, a little bit stubborn. But I go into shutdown mode
Mm-hmm.
where if I feel that what I'm trying to explain, I'm not getting my point across,
Mm-hmm.
you're not listening, you're not trying to understand. When
Mm.
I feel like that,
Yeah.
I just shut down. And it gets to the point where I'm like, I'd rather just not talk to you than to continue to argue. Because that's what it is a lot of times. It's like, I'm trying to express myself, you're trying to express yourself, and it's just turning into a bigger argument. So I just shut down. I'm like, fine, then I just won't talk to you.
Okay. So, conflict resolution, right? That is finding a middle ground, in agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, in order to find a middle ground in agreement, I gotta look and try to see where you coming from, and you have to do the same. So, we meet in the middle and be like, okay, well, I see what you're saying, and I see what you're saying, and then explain ourselves. And if we don't agree after we explain ourselves, uh, we have to agree to disagree, and whatever that may be, because sometimes you don't find a resolution within conflict. Am I right?
I know what you're thinking out there, world. Easier said than done.
Of course.
Because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking the same freaking thing. We can try and see eye to eye, but sometimes it's hard.
Of course it is. Who said it was easy?
Especially when you're dealing with a person who is just as stubborn as you are.
Mm.
And there's times where it's like, to this day, there are arguments that we have had
Mm-hmm.
where it then turned into those, you know what? Forget it.
Forget it. Yep.
Just forget it.
Yep.
There's arguments that we had that to this day, that if we were to bring it back up years later, we still don't see eye to eye.
Yeah. You don't. That's why I say you got to agree to disagree.
But
Sometimes you got to do that.
back to what, he said in the statement, I need to do better. Like, me as a person, I feel I need to do better when it comes to being able to shut down and not talk to you, not communicate with you at all, and not have a problem with it. Because at the end of the day, life is too short.
It is too short.
It is entirely too short to hold grudges or to be petty or something like that. And that's something that to this day, how long we've been together? Almost 15 years
Mm-hmm.
later.
Yep.
And to this day, it's still something I struggle with, you know? But I also look at the fact that there's so many people out there who have gotten into an argument and the other person left and gone to work, and
You
that's
have to
it,
come back.
and they don't come back.
Yep. And then all that regret and all that anger and all that sorrow and all that what
Guilt.
if and guilt. Yeah. Would have just come back. Say, damn, if I would have just looked at it at his or her point of view, maybe, instead of him or her storming out the house pissed off and going to work, they could have kissed me for the last time.
Yeah. I enjoyed
Or,
those last
yeah,
moments.
gave me a hug. And I would have remembered that instead of them storming off and being pissed off at me.
Because once those moments are gone, they're gone. You can't come back and recreate those moments after a person has left.
Unless you're into some other shit. Like some witchcraft stuff.
Was it the TV show we were watching?
What was that?
The one where you go to sleep, you dream about
Yeah.
you already want to be in?
Yeah.
But if you don't take advantage of those opportunities, you let them slip away. That's missed opportunities that you'll never get back.
Never. You never.
Because even to 5 minutes ago, that's 5 minutes that we have lived. It has passed, and we will never get those 5 minutes back.
Absolutely. And you'll be amazed. Some of the stuff that you argue about couples argue about is very petty.
To you.
I mean, in
or
the long
to the
run.
person. I'm sorry. Let me put it this way, so I don't make it personal to you.
I mean,
but to the person who it doesn't matter to.
I'm not saying it don't matter to that person. Never said that. The thing is that the point of the argument sometimes is petty, and you're like, damn, we really arguing about that.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, this is what we doing.
Yeah.
So it's like that sometimes, and then you look back at it like that. We shouldn't even had to argue about that. That's something that we should have talked about instead of letting it get to the point where we hurting each other's feelings just to prove that one of us is right.
And sometimes it takes like actually doing a refresher and coming back.
Yeah, you got to sometimes because it's all about it's emotions.
Yeah.
We are very emotional creatures. Especially the woman. I ain't trying to sound like a sexist, but the female sex is a very emotional creature, and
males
men
are
are
very
too.
emotional creatures too.
Huh?
But they're emotional in more so of a stubborn way than anything.
Yeah.
Like dudes, like they let their pride and their stubbornness get in the way of actually solving conflict. And there's a saying, never go to bed angry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's times where it's like, okay, I ain't gonna go to bed angry, but I am finna leave you in this room. I'm finna go downstairs and binge watch something. I ain't going to sleep, but I'm leaving you.
But listen, sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you have to separate in order to basically sit back and smell the coffee. Because if you don't separate for a second, you just gonna keep going at each other's head. If you allow your time to decompress and bring yourself back down to earth and allow your partner to do the same thing, that right there in itself, you could be like, damn, maybe I was wrong.
We're playing devil's advocate, right? If I can for a moment, because when we do these podcasts, we do have to look at stuff from double sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that could be it. Where you like, am I really arguing over this?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can decompress. You can take some time out. You can sit back. You can rethink about the situation,
Mm-hmm.
and you get further in your feelings.
You can.
You're like,
You can.
time out. Did
You
he
can.
just say what I
Yeah, you
thought he
can. You
said?
can. You can. But that's how. Like it depends. Like you got two different ways you can look at stuff. You can look at stuff like, okay, well, damn. Let me look at the positive. Let me see what I can understand with where he was coming from or where she was coming from. Or you can be like, man, you know what? Fuck that. I was right. He or she was wrong. Yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. You got different ways of looking at it. It's kind of like when you used to watch the cartoons and you see the devil pop up on one side and the angel pop on the
On
other
the
side.
shoulder?
Yeah. So it just depends on which way you look at it. Now, if you're looking at it in one, I'm saying you're just looking at it in one point of terms. Like, okay, well, you know what? I know I was right. I'm right. So
Back to that 6-9 method that we talked about in that other podcast, right?
yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's the whole thing, man. Like you gotta learn how to be wrong. So sometimes you gotta learn how to be wrong. You ain't right all the time. Sometimes you gotta sit back and smell the goddamn coffee and realize, hey, dang, bro, I was wrong. Or I believe I was right, but I was also probably wrong about this right here.
But you also have to learn how to listen, respect, and communicate with your partner.
Of course, and
Because
that's
just
another
because you
thing.
think it's over, which we've talked about that before too.
Yeah,
Just because you
yeah.
think it's over, don't mean it's over.
But here's the thing, though, with that, if I'm going to argue with you, and we're going to end the argument without finding a resolution, why pick it up several days later in the same position that we ended it off of? That ain't. That ain't. That's just recreating that whole drama.
I mean, it's easy for you to say if it's ending on something that is rooted in your direction.
Can you
All right.
elaborate?
So, okay.
I'm not
Say,
understanding.
for instance, we got into it over a pair of socks.
Mm-hmm.
Pair of socks being left on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, these socks really need to just go in a hamper. They don't need to be on the floor. And you're like, I don't see what the big deal is. It's a simple fix. It can just be put up in the hamper and call it a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
To you, it's not a big deal. To me, it's irritating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fast forward. Take it to like your video game.
Mm-hmm.
Our son play your video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he borrow your disc and he leave your disc sitting on the table and he doesn't put it back in the case,
Mm-hmm.
you like, oh, this thing, it needs to go in the case, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I'm like, I don't see the big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's back on the table.
Mm-hmm.
But to you, it's, no, it's my video game. It needs to go in the case. I don't want it to get messed up. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, just because it's not important to you at that given moment doesn't mean it's not important.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people brush it off because they're like, oh, it's not important. And they brush it off because it's not important to them.
Okay.
So that's why it's easy to pick the conversation up later on. And I can be like, you remember we had that talk about them socks? And you can be like, oh, here we go again. I told you it's not that big of a deal.
Uh-huh.
I can be like, well, you just had the same conversation with our son about your video game disc not being put where it needs to be.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I come back with a rebuttal?
Go for it.
Okay, so here's
We ain't in court, but go for
I'm just saying. Here's the thing. With all that said, if you instead of being mad and getting angry at this person with the socks or with the video game disc, instead of getting mad and getting angry, yeah, of course your initial response is gonna be like, man, what the hell you do? But if you can learn how to dial that back and explain to the person, hey, look, this is why I feel this way about this.
Okay.
Yeah, this is why I feel this way about this, and let that person know how you truly feel about that sock and why you want it that way, or why you want your gains inside of this.
But there's a lot that goes into that.
What you
For
mean? No, it's not.
instance,
What you
yes,
mean? A
it
lot that
is. For
goes into
instance,
that.
how many times have I asked you to pick your socks up? Because that's another thing that goes into it.
Okay.
Like, if you done told him 50 times, hey, the game goes back in the case goes back on the shelf. The game goes back
That's
in
different.
the case goes back on the shelf.
That's
That
different.
repetition. So when it comes down to it, it's that last straw, like we talked about
Yeah.
before. It's that last straw where it's like, oh my God, please just put the sock in the freaking hamper.
Mm-hmm.
And to you, it's like, I don't see what the big deal is. It's just a sock. No, it's not just a sock. It's the fact that I've
Okay.
asked you countless times to do
Now,
it and
if
you're
you've
not doing
explained
it.
to me countless times the reason why it's a big deal to you, and I still keep doing it, that's just bluntly disrespect.
No, it's not coming to a full understanding or not coming to a full conclusion of an argument, and then the argument keeps being had in different forms.
But listen,
If we can expand out, right? Right? We can expand out.
mm-hmm.
Go social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dudes have females hit them up.
Okay.
Oh, a female can be like, hey, I honestly think it's disrespectful when Shorty hits you up.
Uh-huh.
I would appreciate it if you don't talk to people on social media.
Yeah.
Dudes can be like, I don't see what the big deal is. I don't even know her like that. She's just talking.
Okay.
You act like I did this, that, and the third. Okay, that happens the first time. Okay, second time comes around. Yo, I kind of asked you not to be talking to people. You act like I'm saying something sexual. It's just a conversation. She asked how I'm doing. I said I'm doing fine. But it's that repetition. So now it's not blatant disrespect. It's the guy thinking, because I'm not doing anything sexual or because I'm not having a conversation that's initiating anything deeper, it's okay for me to have.
No. That is not right. If your wife or your girlfriend say, hey, look, I don't like you talking to this person because I feel some type of way about it.
It's not even this person, it's just people in general.
What you mean people in general? You just said
like if I told you I don't like when you talk to females online.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. But you gotta understand, okay, are we talking about every female?
Females in general, yeah.
So if I can't talk to my cousin online?
Boy, don't be stupid.
I'm just saying, you said
don't be stupid.
Said females.
Don't be stupid.
I'm just asking a question.
I'm not talking about cousins. No, don't be crazy.
Okay, I'm just asking
I'm talking about females in general.
Okay, well, I would have to respect that, but I would want that same energy back.
Exactly, but okay, you're getting off track.
How am I getting off track?
Because we were talking about repetition. Okay. So I asked him, yo, don't do that. I don't like it. I found out you're doing it again. Well, it's not that serious. It's not like I'm talking to her.
Just disrespect.
It's not disrespect if the person doesn't think that they're doing anything wrong.
If the person...
Now, if you were to explain yourself and be like, look, I really don't want you talking to females because of this, that, and the third.
Okay.
It makes me feel this way right here when you do it.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like you're doing this, that, and the third.
Exactly,
and you then explained everything to them. Then it's blatant disrespect.
Yeah.
But some dudes just do stuff to be doing it. You do it.
What you not doing?
You do it.
Yeah, I'm talking to other females online.
Boy, bye. And it's... I don't see... She said hi. She just said hi. I said hi back. It's not a big deal. To you, it's not a big deal, but it's a big deal to me because I didn't ask you not to do it.
Okay, but at the same time, that same energy got to be returned. You can't expect me to do something that you don't do. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't willing to do. So if you tell me, hey, I don't want you speaking to females online, I'll spit the same energy. I don't want you talking to dudes online. So, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So then it turns into a childish
It's
situation
not
where it's like, if you're
childish. No,
doing
it's
it,
not.
I'm gonna do it too.
How's
Yeah,
that
that's
childish?
exactly what you just
So
did.
wait a minute.
So
So
look,
you
this
telling
is
me?
where
Wait a minute. Wait a
conflict
minute. Wait a
comes
minute.
in, because you actually you
No,
just did the whole
no,
elementary school
no.
thing.
That's not
I'm gonna
elementary
do it
school.
because you're doing it, and if you keep doing that,
No,
I'm gonna do it because
that's
we done had this argument. I'm gonna take it personal, right? I'm gonna take it personal to our relationship and an argument that we have had countless times. You don't like doing stuff when you feel that I'm trying to tell you what to do. So simple stuff like, hey, can you take this trash out? I'm gonna take the trash out, but I'm not gonna do it right now because you asked me to do it, and I'm grown and you don't tell me what to do, so I'm gonna do it when I want to do it.
yeah. I used to be like that.
That childishness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it took me communicating with you and telling you that it was childish to resolve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
But that is one of the problems. I was like, this problem is not going to get resolved because he is childish as hell.
Yeah, I used to do that. I ain't gonna lie, I used to do that. But
And then it
yeah,
gets to the
I used
point
to do that.
where you look crazy because you don't want to do stuff when I ask you to do it because you grown, and you ain't got to do what I ask you to do because you grown. So you don't do it when I ask you to do it. Then you end up forgetting about it. And I'm like, dude,
That has happened.
oh.
But yeah, that has happened
So to
before.
tie it all together, I think maturity has a lot to do with conflict resolution.
Of course it does. But it's the respect and giving that person that same energy that you want them to give you as well. You can't tell them that that's not the case as well. If I ask you, hey Kanisha, look, can you make sure that when you put the toilet paper on the roll, that the toilet paper is rolling underneath instead of overlapping the top?
Boy, don't talk about toilet paper because
I'm
you
just,
don't
I'm
put
just, I'm,
toilet
I'm
paper
just
on the
using
roll.
this as an example.
I'm gonna use this as an example.
Okay, I'm just
Chad,
using.
when you use the
Oh
toilet
my
paper,
God.
put the toilet paper
I'm
on the roll
using.
and don't sit it on top of the empty toilet
I'm using
paper
an example.
like it's gonna magically pop onto the roll
Okay.
and start unrolling itself. You
Okay.
can't use any examples that involve toilet paper. Try a different example.
Look.
Try a
It
different
wasn't supposed to be
example.
that serious, man.
Nah, try a different example.
It wasn't supposed to be that serious. Okay. All right. So if I say, hey, Kanisha, hey, instead of us putting the shoes on the floor by the door, how about we take the shoes and put them in the closet? I can't.
Terrible example. You
Oh,
don't put
you
your
know
shoes
what,
up
bro?
either.
I give up. I give up, man.
Look, you don't put
I
your
give
shoes
up,
up
man. I give
either.
up, man. I give up. You're not letting me make my point.
I'm waiting for you to find one.
That's what I was finna do until you keep interrupting me.
Waiting for you to find the point. You don't put toilet
But
paper on roll. You
here's
don't
the
put
thing.
shoes up.
You can't ask somebody to dish out something and you ain't gonna dish out the same thing. I mean, that's part of a relationship. I'm putting 100%, you putting 100%, and together we putting it in too.
Okay, so would you say that it's immature to not do something just because the other person isn't doing it?
What you mean?
I asked you to do this. However, since you're not doing that, I'm not going to do this
Of
either.
course that's immature.
But that's pretty much what she just said.
No, it's not. That's not what I'm saying.
You said
At
I had
all.
the same energy.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like we'll just go back to the social media thing. Since if you ask me, hey, I don't want you speaking to no females on social media, and I say, okay, that's cool, I won't do that, but I'm expecting you not to talk to no dudes on social media. It's the same thing. If you can't do it, how you expect me to do it? If you're not willing to make that sacrifice, why would you want me to make that sacrifice? That's what I'm saying. And that's how stuff works. Like, if you wouldn't put in 100% of your tokens in the pot, I'm going to put in 100% of my tokens in the pot. And we're going to have 200 tokens together. If you want to put in 99, that ain't right.
No, go ahead and say what you were finna
What
say
you
so you
mean?
can prove
What
my
you mean?
point.
No.
Go ahead.
If,
You were about to say if you only put in 99, I'm going to only put in 99 too. That's childish.
Okay, listen. It just depends on.
That's childish. You're further proving my point. See, this is the thing about doing podcasts with you, sir. If I be quiet long enough, I let you dig yourself into a hole.
I didn't say that. You said that. You just made that whole thing.
That's exactly what you were about to say.
I'm not about to say that. I was just saying the expectations. You're expecting me to put 100% of my tokens in.
Mhm.
I'm expecting you to put 100% of your tokens in.
And if I only put 99?
That ain't fair. That ain't right.
No, if I only put 99, go ahead. Finish the statement.
That ain't fair. That ain't right. So,
How many are you going to put in?
okay, and this is what usually happens in relationships.
If I only put in 90, if you only
I'm not
put in
talking
99,
about me. Okay, I'm talking about relationships in general.
That's what I'm talking
okay,
about.
you know that other person gonna take one of their tokens out too.
That's childish.
That's childish, but that's how stuff works out. Until wait a minute, let me get done. Until there's no more tokens in there, you gonna take 99. You gonna take away one of yours. He gonna take away one of his. You gonna take another one until ain't nothing left.
So if you're not mature enough to be in a relationship, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
If you're not mature,
because this is the thing, maturity is a big part of conflict resolution. Because right now, the only thing that you're talking about, you're not helping the people out at all. Because the only thing that you're talking about when it comes to conflict and resolution is nah nah boo boo, nah nah boo boo. I'ma take this because you just take
and
that.
That's why a lot of relationships don't work out.
This is why I said in the beginning of the relationship that this podcast is going to be about something that we still struggle with. Conflict resolution.
I don't have a problem.
You have you got more issues than Jets.
I don't got no issues.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You have a lot of issues when it comes to conflict resolution.
No, I don't. Look, here's the thing.
I'm usually the one that just shuts down and walks away.
Exactly, but here's the thing. Like with you have an issue with it too because you got to look at it from both perspectives. And, it takes both of us doing so. And I'm not going to say that, hey, look, I see everything from your perspective every time we have an argument or something happens. But I try to sometimes.
No, you don't.
Who's the first one to apologize?
You never apologize. You just pretend like it doesn't happen.
No, I come back and I apologize to you all the time. I don't know whether you just erase that memory off your memory banks, you just don't think it happens, or you just completely are not seeing me apologize or hearing it, and you just turn blind and deaf for a second. But I apologize every time.
Probably in your mind. I can't read your mind. That's the biggest issue.
I come back and you say, I always say, babe, I'm sorry for doing that.
No, you don't.
It's well, just let me know that you honestly just blank out when I apologize to you.
You don't apologize.
I do.
You blank out when you apologize and you think you did it, but you don't.
Nah.
Usually your way of conflict resolution is pretending like nothing ever happened.
Okay, because
so we be you are the typical man where we be in a full-blown argument. You done piss me off to the utmost point of pistivity. I'm done. I'm fed up.
Hold on.
Listen, I don't want to deal with you no more. I'm ignoring you. And you come around the corner. I mean, you want some ice cream or something? Because I'm finna go in the kitchen and get some ice cream. And you think that is an apology. So, in your mind, you're probably like, baby, I'm sorry. That was wrong. But in reality, you just like, so you want this Twix bar or you want to watch a movie?
Look here.
You trying to go get something to eat right quick? That's not apologizing.
That's something that you do, baby.
It's not apologizing.
It comes out of my mouth, baby. I'm
not
sorry.
An apology, no.
So yeah, but the thing is though, it's all about seeing it from both perspectives. Like when we argue from now on, I'm not. We're gonna have more arguments. So
careful with your words. Let's see what you're gonna say. If we argue from now on,
I will, instead of getting all hot and trying to win the battle, because that's what a lot of us do. Try to win the battle, because argument ain't nothing but a battle. Yes, it is.
It's a disagreement, not a battle.
The people are trying to win the argument.
That's the issue.
Exactly.
That's why conflict resolution is so difficult in relationships.
Let me explain. That's why you got that right. That's why it's so difficult. People are trying to win the argument instead of trying to see if they can come up.
So hold on. Here it is. Today is Tuesday, August the 30th of 2020 at 7:44 in the PM. Chad said, from now on, when we argue, go.
Instead of trying to win the argument, I'm going to listen to what you have to say.
Mm.
I may not agree with it right then
Never.
and there,
Mm-hmm.
but what I would do instead of talking over you, and I hope that you can do the same for me,
Why are you talking like a robot?
because I'm trying to get you to understand and the people out there to understand.
I ain't slow.
See,
I can understand you talking regular.
listen. Let me get done. I would be like, okay, well, we'll take this. We'll take this. Let's try to figure this thing out. You stay in your spot for a second. I give you 10, 15 minutes. You give me 10, 15 minutes. You can chill in the bedroom. I'll chill in the basement. And we can come back. Let me think about what you're saying and see if I can put myself in your shoes and try to analyze this situation from
So that's what you're gonna do moving forward. No, I gotta
try to
clarify.
analyze this situation.
That's what you're gonna do
and
moving
your
forward.
perspective. Yes,
That's what you're gonna do moving forward.
that's what I plan on doing.
You're not
moving
gonna
forward.
get pissed off.
Look,
Go
hold
get
on.
your little
Wait a minute.
slushy. Go downstairs.
Wait a
Turn
minute.
on the Xbox. Put on your
But then I say,
noise cancellation
Then I say
Xbox.
10, 15 minutes.
Play your
Then I say
game.
10, 15 minutes.
10, 15 minutes in your mind, which is usually 1 to 2 hours in reality. Play your video game.
See, this is what we argue.
And then come back
This is why we
upstairs
argue.
and be like,
This is why we argue. I can't
you
even
still
come up
mad
with
about
I,
something?
I can't even come up with
Because you literally just said what you do during every argument. I'm going to go downstairs. You chill in the bedroom. Yep, that's pretty much what happens. I'm going to turn on my video game, put on my headphones for about 15 minutes. But in all actuality, I done watched 3 movies and caught up on 6 shows. And then you're going to come back up here when you get tired. And you're going to be like, you still mad? We didn't discuss anything. Yes, I'm still mad. What the hell? So this right here, you guys, is why relationships aren't perfect. Relationships are never going to be perfect. You are going to argue. You are going to fuss. You are going to fight. You are going to be at each other's throats. Hopefully not literally.
Yeah.
Unless you like it like that.
Yeah.
But listen, the important thing of it all, going back to the statement, is be sure that you are living these moments as if they're your last. Don't miss out and lose out on time that you can be spending with the love of your life because you're being petty or immature or childish about certain situations. Take the time out to listen to what each other have to say. Take the time out to try to understand each other. Are you going to understand each other? Heck no. Are you going to argue? Oh, definitely. Is the argument going to be solved in 10 minutes? Probably not. But try not. It's not going to be solved in 15 minutes. But try not to dwell on that. Try to get over it as quick as possible. Because life is too short. Time is moving too fast. And once moments are gone, you'll never get them back.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And just like that, we're out of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I told y'all to get y'all Douce Hennessy. I told y'all.
Y'all just pretty much heard a conflict and how it was not resolved. So conflict resolution is something that people are gonna always struggle with. Always struggle with. We struggle with it all the daggone time. And this is pretty much to show you guys that nobody's perfect. Nobody has a perfect relationship. Right?
I don't care what nobody say.
Heck no.
They can be like, oh, we goes.
Goals.
We goes.
Goals.
Yeah. But
It
what's
ain't
really
perfect.
going on?
Look, it ain't perfect. But as always, if you want to reach out to us, you can reach us at askkcvibe@gmail.com. That's askkcvibe@gmail.com. Any questions, concerns, comments, if you want to add to anything, if you have anything you want to just get off your chest, go ahead and hit it up there. You can also reach us on social media. Instagram is KC_Vibe Podcast.
Yeah.
Facebook is KC Vibe Podcast now, you guys. KC Vibe Podcast on Facebook. And then if you're wondering where to listen to the podcast, just Google it. KC Vibe Podcast. We are available wherever you stream your podcast. Wherever you stream your podcast on the screen, we available. If you want to reach the girl, the KC vibe, you can reach me on all my social media platforms at the real underscore knockout. That's DAREAL underscore knockout. Unless you're looking for me on TikTok, then I'm AO underscore KO and the number two. That's AYO underscore KAYO and the number two.
Yeah, and you can reach your boy C to C at Mudamar86. And look, it's simple. TikTok or goddamn on Instagram. That's all I got. At MARTIMAR.
That's it.
That's all I got.
That's it.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
it.
Well, once again, thanks for kicking it with us. We hope that we bought something that you can go back and discuss with your significant other
Yep.
on how y'all resolve or don't resolve y'all
Yeah,
issues. Right?
that's it.
All right. So, as usual, I am the K.
And your boy here to see.
Thanks for vibing with us.
Bye.
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 What did I
Okay, look,
tell
we done
you?
had this. This is another.
Please.
We gotta come up with a resolution for this conflict.
I'm bye.
And I'm vibe.
You did not get off the phone and say vibe.
Okay.
Lord Jesus, y'all.
Well, let me sit
look,
back for 15 minutes.
Pray. Keep us uplifted in y'all prayers, y'all. Moving
Yeah.
forward, just keep us uplifted. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Oh, Jesus.
Bye.